Hey, you wanna get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, Chucky! What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rojan Kim.
Hello, and welcome to the Rojan Kim Cast. It's me, your host, Rojan Kim. Thank you for joining me today. I hope it's a wonderful day where you are. It's lovely where I'm at, Hollywood, California, in the middle of some tumultuous conflict between the Writers Guild of America and the Association of Talent Agents, or Agents, ATA, Agents versus writers. That's what's going on in Hollywood, everybody. The guild, the Writers Guild. It's a guild. It's a union filled with the writers of television and screen. They got a thing. They got a fucking thing. And the agents, they don't have a guild, but they got an association. There's like big four agencies. I don't know who they are. But there's big agencies. They got a lockdown on all the jobs. And they're really just... they're making a lot of money, and they do this thing. This is the worst breakdown of what's happening because I have a very, very little understanding of what's going on. But apparently there's something called packaging. The fucking agents make a shitload of money off of it, and the fucking writers don't even get a piece of that. And the writers are like, dude, we should be getting a piece of that, okay? We're all gonna, if you don't give us a piece of that, we're all gonna walk. We're gonna fire all our agents, okay? And they got like, I don't know, something like 7,000 writers to fire their agents, and the agents are all like, well, fuck you. What if we never rep? We don't even rep writers anymore. We're not going to rep you guys. That's one thing they might do. The agents might also. Isn't this boring? God, I'm so bored. But this is what's going on in Hollywood. See? Not too bad, right? Not too bad. I mean, in Sri Lanka, 300 people died. Exploded on Easter Sunday in church. In church, of all the places. I mean, I guess on one hand, you're like, that's got to be an in, right? You got to be, come on. If you get fucking killed in a terrorist attack, church, you should be able to get into heaven at least for a few days. At least you should be able to, like, have, right? God should be like, all right, you know? Like, if you were right outside the church, then we'd have to, you know, put you through the purgatory and the whole rigmarole. But you know what? You were in the safe zone. You were in the zone. It's like fucking, it's like a U.S. embassy overseas, right? It's like fucking U.S. soil, right? I feel like that's God's house. You're in God's house. If you're murdered in God's house, I feel like God, he should do you a solid, right? Is that presumptuous to assume that the deity, the Lord Heavenly Father, should do you a solid for dying in his house? But anyways, I don't live in Sri Lanka. I live in Los Angeles. Okay? And that's just what's going on here. In Los Angeles, what's more real to me than, say, the upcoming election is the Battle of Winterfell. Okay? Battle of Winterfell. Avengers Endgame. They're coming out this weekend, okay? I don't care what happens. That's my privilege, okay, as an American, as somebody far away, removed from the troubles of the world. My troubles are, how am I going to see the Avengers? I don't have an advance ticket to Avengers Endgame. How am I going to see it? Okay, that's really the thing. Battle of Winterfell, I got that covered. I got that. I got an HBO Go password. Big ups to Jack Rosenberg. I got his password. I'm using it. Sure, there's a limit to how many devices can stream, but guess what? His family, all across the nation. Some of his family's on the East Coast, right? Jack himself is one time zone away. So it all works out, okay? I got Winterfell covered. What's going to happen? They're all going to die. Yes, it's going to be amazing. It better be. It better not be a letdown because it's been 2 episodes of setup, 2 episodes of, I get it. The gang's all here. They're all here. They're all going to die. Come on. All right. And then you got the Avengers. You got the Endgame coming. A culmination. 10 years. 10 years, guys. fucking 22 movies. I started watching the old movies because I forgot all about them. You know, it's been such a long journey, you know, really built by Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau. Like, if you look at Iron Man, just the sort of risk they took with this idea that, like, people would be into Iron Man. Like, people would care at all about Iron Man? But yeah, man. Remember back when it was just Spider-Man? Spider-Man ruled, right? And then it was DC. DC had Batman and Superman. Marvel only had Spider-Man, you know, and then they had X-Men, right? But that was it, 2 franchises each. That's all they got. And Marvel came out of nowhere, 2008, fucking 2009, whatever. It just came out of nowhere with Iron Man. Just fucking murdered it. And Iron Man, if you remember, was actually about a guy who sold weapons to Afghanistan. These weapons got taken by the Taliban. He had to go and get his weapons back. And then it turned out that the U.S. was some bad dude in the, like an American general, was actually supplying the Taliban with these weapons, and Iron Man had to go and get all the weapons back. And there was a lot of, like, guilt you could feel about the war. It was like Iron Man was actually capitalizing on American guilt over the war in Afghanistan, the war, the failure, this idea that, you know, I think deep in the recesses of our minds, even though we know shit about history, we don't know anything about the history of Afghanistan. I think in the back of our minds we're like, we probably sold them the guns, didn't we? We probably, because that's just our MO. We probably we armed those guys, didn't we? And we did. We armed those guys to fight the Russians. The Russians that are such a big problem now. I guess the Soviets back then, but we armed them. A young man from Saudi Arabia named Osama bin Laden was amongst the CIA assets that were, all right, well, do I need to go over? You can look any of this up. None of this is hidden conspiracy shit. This is all, it's public record. Anyways, yeah. Fucking, we gave them all that. We trained those fuckers. Whatever. So now we're fighting them. Whatever. And so Iron Man was all about that. You know? The fucking guilt associated with that. And Tony Stark, single-handed. Tony Stark was actually America personified, right? Like just some rich dude who just wanted to do good. But did he get rich off of people killing and destroying? Yeah, destroying each other? Yes. Yes, he did get rich off the misery, off the suffering, off killing, the murder, children, maiming. I mean, the killing might even be the best part in terms of, like, outcomes, right? Like, maybe you're better off just dying instead of being hit by a little bit of white phosphorus and just having a burn that doesn't heal for the rest of your life. You know, maybe you're just better off just getting your head blown off than having your legs crushed by rubble and then just having to live the rest of your life as a paraplegic, which is really hard when there's rubble everywhere. You know what I mean? When you're in a wheelchair and then there's rubble everywhere, that's fucking sucks. And I don't want to be ableist. I'm not saying it's better. I mean, maybe I am. I guess I am saying it is better to not have your legs crushed than to have them crushed. I'm going to go out. You know what? I'm going out on a limb. It's a hill I'll fucking die on. I'll say that it's better to not have your legs crushed so that you can no longer use them. It's better for that not to happen than for it to happen. Some people may argue differently and call me ableist. Fuck you. All right? I don't care. Yeah, fine. I'm ableist. All right? I think it's better to have your limbs intact. All right? It's better. It doesn't mean the person who doesn't have their limbs has less value. I'm just saying if you offered them some limbs, they'll probably be like, okay, yeah, right? Like, why? We'd be like, no, I don't want to defile the sanctity of who I am by adding prosthetic limbs to my limbless torso. Why would I want that? All right, I don't know why I'm going on this rant. You know why? Because somebody called me ableist online for making a joke. Okay, making a silly joke about autism, and I wasn't making fun of autism. I was just saying, somebody said artistic, and I said, oh, I thought you said autistic, but and it's not. I got caught ableist. I got called that. How dare you? How dare you call me ableist? Some of my best friends are disabled. I don't know why. That's still always a defense that like you have to say your friends are the thing that I don't. Shut up. Everybody's trying to fucking come at me, bro. And not just me. Everybody's coming at everyone. Very hostile. It's like, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're racist, you're sexist, you're ableist, whatever. Communist, socialist, you're fucking Trump supporter. I don't know what, you're Trumpist, trumpetist, whatever, man. All these, why is everything a war? Huh? Tell me that. Why does everything have to be a fucking conflict, right? It's like black versus white, man versus woman, right? Why red versus blue? Why everything has to be, it's exhausting, okay? It's fucking exhausting. We can't just chill. That's why fuck red and blue, right? I'm all about the green, yeah, and not money. I'm talking marijuana. I do feel like if, the government just started passing out weed, people would overthrow the government. I don't think it would actually have this effect of pacifying the people. I think that's one of the reasons why, marijuana or psychedelics in general, why they're kind of frowned upon, because people, it's the whole worm turning thing, right? People start questioning structures. People start questioning authority. A black man will look a white man in the eye. That's what they said, right? Oh, that's that Mexican will be lazy. He'll stop working, right? Both of those entail a subversion of the social order, right? That's the fear. The fear is that we have a sort of tenuous grasp on the social order here. Especially here in America, where you have, the white man who is the default human being who's besieged by the other, right? The dark man, the brown man, the black man, the yellow man, all these different men who want to fuck their women, take their jobs, right? And a big part of how they're going to fuck their women is apply them with drugs, right? Apply the white man with drugs, and then they'll take their jobs. I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense because if they're like lazy and don't care about society, why would they want your job? Like, why? Why do they want jobs? Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. But whatever. That's what they did. Okay, back then, Marijuana Prohibition Act, again, or Marijuana Tax Act. I don't know. Some basically anti-cannabis law that they passed basically made marijuana a Schedule I drug. After Prohibition, right? After Prohibition, bunch of G-men needed jobs, man. What are they fucking gonna do? They're gonna let's make weed illegal. We're gonna do it, right? We're gonna make this law, create a prohibition on marijuana, call it marijuana, tell you that the reason we need to make it illegal is because it endangers the social fabric, the order that we have, right? The natural order of things. And that got the fucking white vote in there. The white people voted that in. They were like, I don't want that. Meanwhile, they had no idea it was cannabis. Cannabis that they know and love. Cannabis that they just, use all the time. Cannabis perfectly safe. They know it's safer than booze. They knew back then. People have known for thousands of years weed is safer than booze, right? If you use, pretty obvious, right? Anyways, I don't know. I'm ranting about how. Well, it would. If the government handed out weed to everybody, they would basically probably change the government. Why do we need this kind of government? I'm sure it's silly to think that there would be no government. Maybe you need something. Somebody has to come in. So at some point, maybe there's a lot of people jacking each other off. No, jacking. The government was going to step in and stop us from jacking each other off. Okay, and overthrow the government. That's what I say. Let's fucking get those guys. All right, I'm rambling. No, look, the point here is that why do we need these structures? These structures to keep us down, man. structure to keep us down. I think there's the reason I'm bringing this up is because the news right now it's just it's all about the Russia thing, about the Mueller report, but then also just like, is there going to be impeachment? And then the Democrat, and it's just like, is there a strategy to run a candidate against this guy or what? You guys got anything? Because the last 2016, your strategy was to fuck over the guy that the people wanted, Bernie, in the primary, which is what the Russians exposed with their hack, right? The secrets that they exposed and really threatened our democracy with, those secrets were about how the Democrats stole the election from Bernie, the primary, the nomination. They stole it. And how they wanted Trump to run because they thought they could easily trounce him, right? That's what the Russians uncovered. So the threat to the democracy that they uncovered was the threat to democracy that the Democrats were pulling over on the public, which they copped to. Sure, people got fired. They're like, our bad. And then they ran Hillary and so on and so forth. And I'm just like, dude, why? There are more fucking Democrats than there are fucking Avengers, right? There are more Democrats coming into the election than there are people showing up at Winterfell, right? That's what this fucking election feels like. It's like they're all just assembling to try to take on Thanos, right? They're all coming to take on the Night King, right? And it's just going to take a snap of the finger, a little ice fire blast from an undead dragon. Like, that's all it's going to take for the whole thing to just fall apart, right? Yeah, let's put everybody in the crypts. It's safe in there. Put everybody in the crypts where we're going to fight a guy who can raise the dead. Let's put everybody, all the vulnerable people and Arya, everybody we know and love, let's put them in the crypts. Okay, well, maybe the crypts won't, maybe nothing will happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just a spectacle at this point, right? To me, U.S. politics feels like a rich guy with two hand puppets making them fight. That's what it just feels like. And then we're all just like betting on who's going to win. Who's going to win? Who, the left puppet or the right puppet? The woke puppet or the racist puppet? Who's going to win? Right? And meanwhile, you know who wins is just the rich fat dude who's holding the puppets. Right? That's who wins. Right? Who loses? Us, the public. The public. Dude, where are we right now? I feel like we're the richest, most powerful country in the world. We're conducting 7 wars. Did you guys know that we're like in 7 countries? Let me see if I can list all the countries we're bombing. All right, here we go. We got Iraq. Yeah. Afghanistan. Yeah. Somalia. We're bombing Somalia. Yeah. We got a little thing going on in Libya. Yeah. We got a little thing going on in Syria. Yeah. We got, let's see, what else? Yemen. Yeah. I mean, do we count it? I mean, we're kind of like giving money and weapons to the Saudis who are bombing Yemen, who President Trump vetoed fucking the War Powers Act, right? The House was like, hey, we don't want you doing war. And Trump was like, I'm doing war, right? Fuck it. There's no end to the wars. There's no end to the wars. That was 6 countries I named. I'm sure there's a 7th we can find. Well, Venezuela they want Iran. Maybe they want to get 7. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's some kind of Game of Thrones thing. 7 kingdoms, 7 countries, one fucker to rule them all. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter if it was a blue guy or a red guy. Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton. Doesn't matter. Okay? We are a mighty empire. I think what's maybe good now is that it's kind of naked. It's a naked empire. At least we're now like, yeah, freedom and whatever. It's like, yeah, we're over there. We taking oil. We're trying to lock this down. That's what we do. And I guess we're fine with that. We're fine with it. There's a lot of talk about healthcare. A lot of talk about the Green New Deal. That's some stuff going on the left. Not very solid because the fucking Democrats are just eating themselves. Yeah, you got your corporatist, centrist, fucking sellout motherfuckers. Centrist Democrats being like, let's not go too crazy with socialism. Let's not just start giving money away, you know. It's because they work for the rich, right? Both sides, they work for the rich, so they don't give a fuck about people. Here's the thing. It used to be that there was the haves and the have-nots, right? Now, it's like the have-nots and the have-nothings, right? Everybody's just one fucking medical bill away from homelessness. That's basically what it is. We're all just hanging by a thread. Most of us don't have health care. We're fucking running around, you know, 50,000 or 30,000. I don't know. A shitload of people will die every year just because they don't have the dough to pay for medical costs, okay? People will just end up on the streets all the time because they don't have, you know, and that's where we're at. That's cool. That's fine. That's fine, I guess. I don't know. We're fine. We're bombing the shit out of the guy. How about asking the money, where does the money come from to kill all these people? How about that? Why don't we ever ask that question? Seems like we're like, okay, it's fine. This is what we do. We kill people for our freedom, and that's how we do it. And now, give me my phone, and then I think that's it. Anyways, Avengers coming out this weekend, everybody. I can't wait to see it. I might not be able to. I might not see it this weekend, honestly. And it's okay. It's okay. Oh no, FOMO, memes, spoilers. Doesn't matter. But Winterfell, I'm watching Winterfell because of HBO Go, thanks to Jack Rosenberg and his password, and the entire Rosenberg clan, you know, for your generosity and also for being spread across the country and allowing me to jump in and not hit that device limit during those crucial times where I need to know what happens. Okay? Is Ned Stark going to come back? Are they going to bring Ned Stark back? With Catelyn Stark? Is her body? Did they find her body? Is Catelyn Stark? Did they just chuck her body in the river like in the book, or did they rob? What happened to their bodies? Nobody. All right, these people are not real. These are not real people, but I care about them more than the fake real people. I care about these real fake people. Mean more to me than the real fake people in Washington. Does that make sense? It's like I'm invested more in fiction because it speaks more truth to me than reality. I don't know. Is that right or wrong? Is there a judgment to be made on that? Is that just how things are? That's just the nature of life now. It's an absurd, meaningless time we live in, right? Or everything has meaning. Nothing has meaning. There's no boundaries to anything. Boundaries to let's build a wall. It's everything and nothing at once. We live in a contradictory state, and we always have. I think that's what's evident. I think we always have, but maybe now never has it been so evident. Maybe it's been, for most of history, we didn't all have fucking cameras in our pockets, you know, to be able to just like record just things that happen, moments in our lives. You guys know that selfie deaths are huge, right? Explosion in selfie deaths, guys. People just fucking taking pictures of themselves in traffic, taking pictures of themselves near cliffs, it's falling to their deaths. Very, right? Because it's all about that sweet, sweet content. Right? You gotta get that content. Gotta make sure you see my face before I croak, before I die. Like, yeah. It's that important. It's making that content is that important, guys. And so, just like I'm making this content now, I urge you to make that content, because what will become of us when we shuffle off this mortal coil? We're nothing but the Let's try that again. What are we when we shuffle off this mortal coil? What do we leave behind? Content. That's all there is. That's all there is, guys. Hopefully there isn't an electromagnetic pulse that erases all this data, right? Like, hopefully that's why I have been creating content in stone. I've been learning petroglyph, old petroglyph, like it's like an ancient language. All right, I don't know. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the Rojan Kim Cast. Thank you so much. Please follow me on the online things for the suite of the content that you can get. And come on down to the Belly Room in the Comedy Store May 17th. I'm going to be on the Shindig show, Jimmy Shin. I had a good show. And so he invited me to a show at the Belly Room. So big ups to Jimmy Shin inviting me to do my first Comedy Store spot. That's May 17th. Comedy Store, 7:30 p.m. I'll be promoting it and all that jazz. I got some other shows coming up too. Little shows here and there, starting to get booked out in LA. Out here doing it, grinding the mics and all other such cliches. 2 shakes of lamb's tail. Catch more flies with honey than vinegar. And that's about as funny as a screen door on a battleship. Huh? Back to the Future? Anybody? All right. Anyways, thank you so much for listening, guys. Check out my YouTube channel. Check me out everywhere. Just Rojan Kim me. Google me. Rojan Kim. Thank you, guys.